What is up, everyone? It is I, Carlton Flowers, with Family Sports Network. Yay! And we're back again to talk about the Chiefs receiver core. We've got some signings going on. We got a lot of talk that's happening surrounding these new people that they have just signed, and people are wondering, what are they going to do going from here? What is the game plan? Are they going to shuffle around the rotation? What does it all mean? Well, I definitely have my opinion. And just to give you the what is it called? The Cliff's Notes version, nothing's going to happen in the short term. We're not going to see any difference. And I'm going to tell you why after we look at this news article here. So let's jump on over to this report. If I can find it, here we go. It's going to be on sportsillustrated.com. So let's jump on over to Sports Illustrated. If I can flip this, there we go. Okay, per the Sports Illustrated story, the Chiefs signed wide receiver Anthony Miller and tight end Isaiah Gavings. Okay, so we've got a wide receiver and a tight end. The tight end is not big news for me because I think the only reason why they had to bring in another tight end to the practice squad is because of Jarrett, Gerrit Prince, going on injured reserve, or he injured himself and he's not going to be on the practice squad. And so they had to replace that position. And I guess with Kelsey injuries and not a whole lot of depth, we do have Matt Bushman that I think is going to come up off of the practice squad and go to the active roster, unless I heard that wrong. I'm not sure about that. Correct me in the comments if you know. But the tight end thing is not going to change anything on the active roster. Now, let's talk about the other signing. And that would be Miller. Okay, so this guy, Miller, this is interesting. He went to Memphis. He was drafted 51 overall in 2018, 423 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns as a rookie with the Bears. That's not bad, okay? And after a 3-year stint, he went on to play in 3 combined games with the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a whole lot. He played in 1 preseason game with the San Francisco 49ers this year and didn't log a catch. Not so hot. Colts had him on the practice squad and they cut him. That's not so hot either. Okay, but I'll tell you what is good. Miller played his last game in 2021. That's not the good thing. That's bad, actually. So it's been 2 years since he's seen action. However, this is the only thing that is good. He's still in his athletic prime. So that's good. If he's in his prime and if he can catch the ball, maybe he could solve some issues or at least give us some options, because you never know what can happen with the active roster with people getting injured. We don't know. And so if this guy has athletic ability and he can catch the ball, and we happen to run into some trouble, Anthony Miller might be someone that they could depend on or be grateful just to have that depth if they have to bring him in. So at any rate, as far as the active roster, let's talk about that. So we've got Anthony Miller. He is our backup person. He's not going to be brought in ahead of anybody. Because down at the bottom of the pack, we got Justin Ross. I mean, we've been waiting for how many years to see if Justin Ross is capable of being a great player, capable of being a game breaker or a difference maker. We've seen him through the back surgery. We've seen him through the foot surgery. We've seen him through choking his girlfriend and dragging her through the house and breaking her phone. That's not funny. That's not funny. And now we're still waiting to see if this young man can make a difference on the Chiefs squad. So he's down at the bottom. I don't think they're going to just swap out Anthony Miller for Justin Ross when we've waited this long to see if Justin Ross can be depended on. In my opinion, I'm thinking Justin Ross can catch the ball. I think that he is the dark horse here on this roster because he's the only one that we saw in camp that was doing one-handed catches. He does have sticky hands. But for the off-the-field problems and the injuries, we haven't had a chance to see if he could be depended on. And so the question is, Do we flip and give him snaps and time when he's this rusty? Because it's not like he's just going to jump in. He's going to be at the tip-top shape of his game and remember all the plays and the routes and be 100% on target. You can't do that when you've been out for this long. So it's a flip of a coin. Do we keep certain people in? I say no. I think that there needs to be a shuffle. And I'll tell you what. Number one, MVS. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who does not like to be called Marquez, or he won't talk to you. He's a diva. He's getting less snaps, but I say keep him going down the list of the receivers. And I say Rashee Rice has earned his role as the number one receiver. He is wide receiver one. He has the talent. He's had a few drops, but he's getting a lot better. His drops are not as frequent as they were in the beginning of the season. I think they said that his drop rate is like cut in half now. So he's got a few, but he had a whole lot more in the beginning of the season. So he is receiver one. Let's just call a spade a spade. Rashee Rice is the true wide receiver one. Forget debating that. That's it. So that's set in stone. We're good on wide receiver one. Now let's go to two. And that, of course, probably still needs to be Kadarius Toney. Okay? And we saw him in the news yesterday. We saw the videos. We saw Gronk and his comments, and some people didn't like what Gronk said. We had Travis Kelce sticking up for him and saying that he trusts number 19 no matter what, and he would lateral the ball to him again, which I think that's what Kelce needed to say, and that's his teammate, and he needs to support him. I also think it was great that Gronk said what he said, and Gronk basically said that the guy doesn't love football because he's out there dropping balls, not concentrating, and not being meticulous about those things that he's got to stay up on top of. And so hopefully that motivates him. You've got the positive motivation with the quarterback and Travis Kelce saying, we believe in you. And the coach, Andy Reid, says that he still believes in him and he's not going to bench him or anything and that he is young. And then you've got Gronk, the seasoned veteran who has a right to criticize, who's saying, hey, this guy doesn't love the game of football. In other words, get your head on straight, dude. Get your heart into the game. And so maybe that was a good thing that we heard those comments from Gronk. So I'm glad that he said it. All right, so let's keep him at number 2. Now, number 3, it was a close call, but I'm going to tell you who number 3 needs to be, and that needs to be Richie James. Justin Watson, I do like. But I think that Richie James is not of a big of a problem with drops. He did fumble that kickoff. He might have had a drop or two, but I think Justin Watson has him beat on drops. But let's just kind of see. Let's maybe either give them equal play or slightly give Richie James a little bit more of the snaps to test out and see what he can do because he's got experience, and keep Justin Watson there because I don't think we need to get rid of Justin Watson. I think he could be great. If he can stop dropping the ball, I think he could be great. So Richie James is number 3 with a close number 4 with Justin Watson. Now, we know Sky Moore, he's out of there. He's on injured reserve. He hurt his knee, and maybe it was not as serious as needing injured reserve, but maybe they had to go ahead and do that so that they could go out and get more backup because they might not be serious about re-signing Sky Moore. What do you think about that? Do you think they placed him on injured reserve being cautious so they could get rid of him and bring in someone else and not re-sign him? Post in the comments and let me know. I think that's the move that they made. So Justin Watson is at number 4. Justin Ross probably will need to stay at number 6. And number 5 would be Mecole Hardman. I don't know if he's ready to come back in. I don't know if he's cleared from that thumb injury for the Raiders game. So I'm not sure about that, but we'll have to see. So Justin Ross might be number 5 for right now, but I still believe in Mecole Hardman, and I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people say that they should not have traded back for him, that we should have moved on, but what else were they going to do? What were you going to do? You know, you got a guy out there that knows the system, that's got the speed that we need, and he hadn't been 100%. Yeah, he has had some injuries, but what else are you going to do? I mean, come on, let's look at it. You got Anthony Miller coming in, but he doesn't know the system yet. So back then, they could have gotten someone else completely outside of the system, and it would have taken a while to get them up to speed, because look how long it's taken to get people like, say, Justin Ross from injuries and problems off the field back up to speed, where they could bring McCole Hardman in, put him in the game right now, even though he fumbled a punt and had some critical breakdowns. But I still believe in him, and I think that we need to give him the chance to prove his worth. I think the Sky Moore experiment is done, and it's the NFL. I mean, for the fact that we have taken so long to find number one in Rashee Rice, Sky Moore's got to go. I mean, you just can't keep on like this. I think the rest of the season will tell us if we need to go out and get a big name receiver or not, or if Rashee Rice can be that, and I think he can. I don't think we need to go down and get what's his phrase from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's his name? Post it in the comments below because I can't think of it because I'm thinking of it. Hey, I'm getting old. The brain's not as sharp as it used to be. I don't think they need to go and get anyone. I really don't. Okay, Rashee Rice is young enough and has enough potential that he might be a game breaker. Let me know if you agree. Or do we go out and shop and get a big name person? Do we talk about bringing in a certain individual who is getting old, who is from the Tennessee Titans? Or do we stick with what we have? And could Anthony Miller end up being in the rotation next year on the regular rotation? I think we're set. I think we're good. And I'm done experimenting. We don't need to be spending a whole lot of money because we got plenty of people on the defense. They're going to have some issues here because, number one, Willie Gay, they're probably not going to be able to keep him. And then you've got Chris Jones that needs to be taken care of. We talked about that in the last video. If you didn't see that, check out the last video. I pulled up all of the salaries. We talked about the market cap and all of the expenditures. And we talked about the cornerback situation. We've got a need for Snead, and he's going to have to get a bag. So that means that we're not going to be able to go out there and spend a fortune on a receiver. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I want to know. I want to hear about it. Well, that's all I've got for my opinion for today, but please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, share with fellow Chiefs Kingdom enthusiasts, folks who love the Chiefs. I would appreciate that. And we'll see you on the next one when we're going to talk about the defense and whether or not we need to do everything we can to get Chris Jones and Snead signed. Can't wait for the Raiders game. We're also going to put up a video, a preview for the Raiders game before that comes on Christmas Day. I'm so pumped for that. All right. That's all I've got for right now. Whoops. I just deleted myself before the video ended. This is Carlton, and I'm out.